ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
Devyar of Swami rAmAnujAchArya, she was serving him with so much love from her side, and although she was doing sAmAnya dharma, even in the incidents when she did not give prasadam to the Sri Vaishnava who came asking, her idea was that she has to feed her husband first. And in that sense, she was trying to serve him, but Swami gets upset in certain instances. Even when Swami Tirukachinambigal gets invited, as far as when he comes, she actually does all with great respect and treats him well and sense. So when as adiyArs who don't have much understanding, how should we feel about these personalities, Swami? Because we may end up offending just because Swami was upset with some incidents. How should we take these, and how our outlook should be towards them? And if Devri could clarify on that.
Okay. It's a very interesting question. As you say, we should not be committing any offense against anyone. One thing to understand in this is the larger picture and the larger intent of Emperor's incarnation. His purpose is to uplift everyone. It is not just restricted to one particular family or satisfying his wife or his parents or whatnot. He was born to deliver the entire world. So there will be incidents which are catalyst for his commitment to the whole world. So for example, let's say if his wife is very attached to him and he reciprocates similar way, then that bondage will not be easy for them to break. So at times he shows his disappointment, makes her realize that probably he is not happy with her in some of these actions. So she also gets some detachment from him, that okay, he's always like this, he's always scolding me, he's always upset with me. Now what am I going to do with him? And so on. So it's probably a design. It was something which transpired for the benefit of everyone. It's just that she took the kind of blame and suffered in the end, instead of having to just be with Emperor or Ilai Alvar throughout her life. So this is the main thing to understand, that the sequence of incidents were designed by Emperor or Emperor himself, so that he ends up in this particular sannyasa ashramam as soon as possible. This is similar to, for example, Rama Avataram, where Perumal comes to forest. He goes to forest along with Sita Devi, Pirati, even though it's kind of hardship for both himself and Pirati. And then Pirati separates from Perumal, and then she suffers in Ashokavanam for such a long time, 10 months, let's say. And even the reasons sometimes which are explained, even in commentaries, sometimes it is said that just by showing attachment towards the deer, she lost Perumal for a period of time. So it is in a sense that it is to show us that we should not be attached to materialistic things. However dear we may be to Bhagavan, if we are attached to worldly things, that may cause a break in our relationship. It may cause some suffering by being attached to worldly things. So these things, when we see, the examples may sometimes sound harsh, but the lesson to be learned, they take up a Perumal or Pirati or Acharyas, they take up hardships to show us some of these truths, some of these lessons, so that we don't commit such mistakes. No, even after seeing so many of these, we still commit mistakes, but their intent is to practically demonstrate what will happen if someone is, for example, as in the Emperor's case, if someone is not acting according to the will of a dharmic husband. What will happen if they don't understand the viSesha dharma in certain cases? Because she picked sAmAnya dharma over viSesha dharma. She picked the general rule of caring for her husband, even in the best case scenario, if that is taken, rather than looking at the will of her husband. So these sufferings are taken up by these personalities so that we don't commit such mistakes and we understand the bigger and better picture and act accordingly. So this could be one way to look at this. I'm sure scholars may have different perspectives on these. Another example which we could relate to is how Naluran is sometimes blamed for the loss of eyes and loss of life. Loss of eyes of Kurathalwan and loss of life of Periyanambi. But at the same time, Kurathalwan forgave Naluran, even though he committed such mistake. But it is said that he didn't do it intentionally. He was just making a casual statement. Sometimes people say that he probably did it knowingly. In whatever way it is done, at the end of the day, Kurathalwan forgave him and showed us a very great lesson that even if someone does something wrong to us, we shouldn't carry on the grudge. We should be magnanimous. And this is what our Purvacharya literature shows. For example, as in Sri Vachanabhushanam, where it is said that Kutram Seidavargal Pakkal, Porayum Krupayum, Upakara Smrtiyam, Ugapum Nadaka Vendum. So even those who commit mistakes to us, we have to show mercy towards them. We have to show tolerance. We have to be happy about them harming us, even if they did. So these principles, these very high, lofty principles, they are shown. For this, for that, if it is just theory, then we will not understand. So when there is all these incidents which involves someone committing mistakes and someone forgiving them, even though if it may be Leela, still it is something which will make us understand practically, instead of just having it a theoretical viewpoint. So in all of these, the incidents have to be looked at with a little bit of an open mind and understood in a broader perspective, instead of just looking at the particular incident and blaming someone. Hope that helps.
Then you
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.